So if you guys don't know yet, I actually haven't seen anything about Nero yet. I'm going in blind. I think these gentlemen have. So
I've looked at most of it, but I was doing it. I was doing other stuff. So, is Nero broken? I don't. My first impression, and we'll expand on it a little bit. I think Nero has potential to be really good, but I think it's dependent on the growth. It's dependent on how growth works specifically in terms of the numbers. But
I'm a fan of the third hero art, but I also see a lot of people liking the second hero art too.
I think they're both good. The thing that holds me, I guess, should we show these things since we're going to talk about them? Because I'm just sitting on the homepage.
We're already kind of like
So okay, so real quick, we'll get into this really fast. You know who Io is. You probably know who I am. And this guy in the middle, this is Pferschaw. He is an FGC veteran. He is a guy who wants to get into TEPPEN. He plays TEPPEN. So he's come to hang out with us tonight. So on the website, we got some new stuff this afternoon / this evening, depending on where you live, which is a lot of Nero stuff from the Devil's Awakened. So this is the website, everything that was put up. So I guess we'll just scroll down and just take this piece by piece. Which the cinematic campaign trailer, that was already out. Maximilian showed that on stream yesterday. Have you seen that, Pferschaw?
I did. I watched. I liked the Devil Trigger remix. That was awesome. Opera.
I feel really bad saying this because PlayTeppin is in the chat, but I did not like it at all. I like the trailer. What? I like the visuals. I did not dig the song, but I think it's because I like the original Devil Trigger so much. Like it's hard to top
the original too.
You know. Get out. I know. I was like, oh, yeah. I just it doesn't click with me. I'm still excited.
I saw on Twitter that someone said the same thing to PlayTeppin's Twitter. They're like, man, you guys need to have some bangers. And like, but this is a banger.
It's I will tip hat for the testicular fortitude it takes to go that far out from the original and step out and do something different. It just doesn't jive with me personally, but I respect the creative choice. So, cinematic trailer dropped, and we have just further confirmation that within a week, according to the Twitter, this is when Nero is coming out. As well as, and since I believe Luke has said that the Devil's Awakened and Nero come out at the same time. Cool. So, also on the website, we've already got the cinematic trailers. So now we've got stuff for Nero specifically and some new artwork, which is cool. So there's actually going to be a release commemoration campaign. I actually did not look over this when I was looking at it earlier.
Oh, alrighty.
So this is an incentive for you to go watch the trailer if you haven't watched it already. But depending on the number of views the trailer gets, people will get bonuses. So if the trailer gets 5,000 views, we'll get one Devil's Awakened pack. If it gets 8,000, we'll get some Zenny. And if it gets 10,000, we'll get 2 more Devil's Awakened packs. So go watch the trailer. In fact, I'm going to find a link for it really fast. Luke says we're at almost 6K right now. Luke or Max. I forget who runs the PlayTeppin channel. I'm sorry. I'm going to find a link to that really fast. It's Luke. What's up, Luke? Let's see here.
I can grab the link too.
Could you?
Yeah.
What's going on, Luke?
Just be an absolute sweetie.
This is a great idea, though. Like,
yeah,
I think this is.
I dig that. That encourages other people to promote the game and everything that's going on. It's a good idea. So that is going on. So go watch the trailer. So, so Nero's out, much like, well, no, he's not out, he's coming out. But much like we all suspected, he's going to be green. He's going to be a green here. Oh, look at that. Don't do that, browser. All right.
Yeah, no surprise here. I think we all kind of called it.
Yeah, the clues were there.
I sent a Twitch chat.
Good deal. So Nero is going to be green, and we have the first look at his hero arts, which we were talking about just a second ago, but I want to show those off for anybody. pretty sure a lot of people in the chat have already seen these. Hey guys, if I talk too much, just tell me to shut up.
No,
You could tell.
Uh,
You run the show.
So this is Devil Breaker,
Oh, that's so cool.
which actually looks so it looks so dope. It looks so awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, it looks absolutely awesome.
Okay,
So the way that works, and if you look at the video, we can see that it's 15 AP.
Okay.
So the way that this actually works, it's 15 AP, and it gives a friendly unit +3 attack, effective for 1 swing, 1 attack, and then spillover, which is only effective for 1 attack. And that's his first hero art. That's Devil Breaker.
Okay.
I think it
Thoughts?
really fits the theme.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, of his Devil Breaker. 15 AP. I read in one of the channels that we're in, somebody was comparing it to Wrath Awoken. So they're thinking that Wrath Awoken will probably get nerfed harder because, or maybe not nerfed harder, but essentially be somewhat relevant because this makes, you know, some type of comparison to Wrath Awoken.
I think
Yeah, I
that's
can-
fair.
They're trying to get to. Yeah.
Batman also made he made the comparison of it's a lot like Spike Dive Bomb in a sense of Spike Dive Bomb is meant to, you get rid of this unit and you beef it up for 1 final swing, and you know this is kind of it's really aggressive in style, it's low in cost, kind of similar. But Bat pointed out that green units generally have higher health pools, so maybe this is a little better. I don't know. I think it's the most underwhelming of his hero arts, but I'm not going to say it's dead.
Yeah, it seems a little bit so far that seems pretty simple because I think there's like cards that already kind of give this similar buff, but like you keep the effect at least. So there has to be something with synergy wise that would make it worth it, kind of a la like Dive Bomb. So
I'm thinking combo with this because Jury already gets spillover combo, and then it does double damage for spillover. So what if green just has something like that? And then if you put chicken with it and give it agility.
ooh, okay.
So chicken, agility, combo, spillover, 3 attack.
Is chicken the new Wrath?
I mean, it
Chicken
might
is
be.
pretty tight.
It might end up being. So that's Devil Breaker. I love the animation. The animation that plays when you use it is so cool.
Yeah, the animation is sick.
Yeah, the animation
I
is
do like
sick.
that a lot.
I will take this moment to briefly talk about how good the art has been for everything that's been shown for Devil's Awaken. I'm not saying the art is bad in this game because it's not. On the whole, it's very good. But all the stuff for the new expansion has just been just chef's kiss. You know what I mean?
feel. Like it's really great. I want some of the stuff they've shown so far, like the Ken and the Lilith. I would get posters of those. Those are like
Yes.
Yes.
The Nero legendary looks really cool. The Axel card looks great.
Yeah,
Some of my personal favorites.
Mega Man fan.
Yeah. But so second hero art is True Power. I haven't watched any of these animations.
Oh, Play Teppen just put the balance updates in the chat, guys.
You lying right now. They're not lying. It's up. Stout, it's up.
Oh,
What's
okay.
out? Are you serious? Oh, okay.
See,
All right. So let's put Nero on hold. We're gonna talk about this first.
Oh, we're gonna skip Nero altogether?
Yeah, we're gonna skip
Yeah,
Nero.
we'll come back.
We're gonna talk about
We'll
this
come back.
first. We have to. All right. Sorry, guys.
We
Hang
have
on. Let's talk about this first.
Oh, man.
Okay. So, all right. So this is all fresh. This is fresh to everybody in this room. So the
Oh,
balance
man.
changes stuff.
Is
just
Wrath dead?
okay. So I'm not going to read this paragraph because this paragraph was present, has been present already. But just basically, they
Yeah.
say they keep an eye on what's being played in competition, what's being played in ranked, what does well, what's popular, what's not, and they're making adjustments based on that. So, a couple of things that are being changed. Details on the mulligan, which it's worded the same, but for those of you who are just hearing about this or weren't sure, it's not like Hearthstone's mulligan where you can choose how many cards you cycle. You have to give up all the cards in your hand. That's the way that works. Which I think is fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
It's not like other card games where you can do what's called, I think, a London mulligan, where you like.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
It decreases the amount of bricking that you can come into, but it also doesn't reward players that, well, it kind of does reward them if they build like a kind of like inconsistent deck. It rewards them a little bit, but not too much. So I think it's kind of the right balance. So it helps players, but it doesn't help players too much, kind of thing.
Okay, so next up is Revenge, and we knew Revenge was going to get adjusted, but we didn't know how. So it says before, when defeated, goes back to your deck instead of the graveyard, and the cost is reduced to half, and that's just for one time. When returned to the deck, half MP is rounded down. So now, when it's defeated, it goes back to your deck instead of the graveyard, and the cost is reduced by half. And when it's returned to the deck, MP halved is rounded up. And they actually explain why they're making that adjustment, which is awesome, by the way. I think it's great that they explain their decisions. The website says, Revenge is far more effective in the latter half of the game, but it can easily make it difficult for your opponent to operate on the board. When returned to the deck through Revenge, halved MP being rounded upwards make it difficult to play 1 MP units in succession. As a result, the opponent is able to make the best use of their MP on the board. Thoughts?
So they only changed it to where it's rounded up instead of rounded down. Is that right? I kind of agree with it, but then I don't. Because I never felt that Revenge was very overwhelming. Especially given the current meta. Where it's, because you can get high rolled by Resonate. You can get high rolled by Wrath Awoken. And then Ouroboros itself, you can have like massive beginning board presence. What do you guys think?
As long as they go ahead.
No, go ahead.
As long as they because I think it was just a combination of having Revenge and then having massive amounts of MP to play destroys, and then you have Uro. So there's so many factors that I think all kind of it worked too well. But I do agree with the whole thing you're saying, Iowa, because I think that Revenge needs to be a key component with black decks in general.
I don't know. I used to think that Revenge was absolutely busted. I've come around, and I think that I wasn't playing well enough to understand. I don't think it's that bad of a change. I don't think it's that big of a nerf.
Yeah, I don't think it makes a big difference.
Yeah, the people that are going to play those Revenge focused decks are still going to play them regardless of this change.
Oh yeah,
it won't make them any more popular, but
right. But I also don't see why it was on the radar, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not dead though. You think?
No, it's not. It's not dead.
No. It's still good.
All right, Wrath Awoken. This was one that everybody was curious about because it's arguably the best. Well, currently, arguably the best hero art in the game, just because it scales. So before it was 17 AP, gives flight and plus X attack to a friendly unit. X is the number of times you've attacked boosted with an action. So now it is 22 AP, and it grants flight and X attack to a friendly unit, where X is the number of times attack was boosted with an action card in battle, and it caps at 3.
Oh, I knew it.
That's
I knew it.
That's big. That's a big shift. That deck's going to get a lot less popular.
Yeah, it is.
I don't agree with that. Oh wait, sorry.
Don't agree with what?
That it will get less popular. But continue. I'm sorry. I'll come in and go.
You can come in. You can come in whenever you want to, baby girl.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. This deck is still playable, but I mean that's big. That's big.
It is pretty big. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It's still good. It's still definitely playable. In fact, I would argue it's still a top tier deck.
Yes.
But that is still a big adjustment.
I want to also see. I know we're getting to it, but Reckless Charge is like the other piece of the puzzle.
Yes, I'm super curious about that.
I'm curious as well.
So their reasoning for changing Wrath Awoken is it says Wrath Awoken's light AP cost allows for heavy use of hero arts and preparation of stronger units before the opponent has a chance to get their strategy in order. Additionally, the hero art's exclusive ability to create powerful units in the late game also has a strong effect on the outcome of the match. Adjusting the required AP slightly delays the timing of when the hero arts can be used. Similarly, setting an upper limit on rising attack power helps to prevent creating overly powerful units. Such adjustments make it possible for the opponent to more easily handle the match. I agree with their assessment, and I think the nerf is totally fair.
Why do you think that Wrath won't be super dead?
I don't think it'll be super dead because it's still good. Like 3 permanent attack, because if you're gonna play a standard Rathalos deck, you're gonna hit that 3 cap no problem. Right. And that's still 3 attack and flight on a unit, and that's guaranteed. Like, that's still not bad for 22 AP. Now, do you have to be a little more conservative about the units you're throwing that onto? Yes. It's just going to require Wrath players to be a little better. You have to step your game up.
They have to think?
I don't think that Wrath Awoken is the derpiest deck in the game right now. I think that is reserved for Ouroboros.
Oh.
I kind of agree.
Spooky, where you at?
I'm just saying. And people will say red is derpy. I remember when K-Brad, like in the first season, he would post endless amounts of stuff on Twitter about how much he hates Ryu and how Ryu is brain dead. Which I disagree with.
Ryu broke him, dog.
Yeah. Yipes does a really good K-Brad. That video is really, really funny on Base Monsters YouTube channel. Fuck. I can't do it. I'm not even going to try. But I think this is totally fair.
Yeah, I agree. It's fair.
So here's one that I don't necessarily think needed that big of a nerf. Darkness Illusion, which is Morrigan's destroy enemy units with halt. Before it was 15 AP. Now it is the same. It's just 22 AP.
Oh, okay. That's not what I think was going to happen.
Well, the reason they cite for the change, it says, combined with the halt effect, this has the ability to take out a large number of units, but its light AP requirement means it can also be used several times in battle, which is true. Their assessment shows that this results in a deck that is overly dependent on hero arts and difficult for opponents to combat. You increase the AP consumption, the uses of hero arts is expected to drop to a level where they are used as a secret weapon in a deck built with emphasis on the cards. This might be a little too much. Like a long time ago, I thought Darkness Illusion was a bit too good, and I'm pretty sure in one of my videos I say the words, "The Darkness Illusion will inevitably get nerfed at some point," and that was like forever ago.
You did it.
But I don't know. This feels a little heavy-handed, in my opinion.
I mean, one, I play Ryu, so. Good matchup, but I don't know. I'm curious to see if there'll be any purple cards like that would kind of be more aligned with still using Dark Illusion. I think that the new wave will still be just keep using Shadow Blade because the synergy is too good and the time, like out timing your opponent, is still like viable.
Yeah, for sure. My thoughts on this is I also agree with you, Stout. Like, this is very heavy-handed, especially because I base a lot of my opinions are going to be coming from like the current meta, right? So Darkness Illusion is not very overwhelming in the current meta. Even if you play DI versus the Wrath players right now in this meta, it's not going to be that great in my opinion. So that alone makes me feel like this nerf was just kind of unnecessary, especially when you already have Dante, which, board clears himself. But, kind of to each their own.
Yeah, it was kind of a mystery because, like, I didn't expect to see Dark Illusion on that list when we first got the impressions, but I thought, because Shadow Blade's the more relevant one, that they, if anything, they would touch that. But even, I don't know. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about Force, because it's, in my opinion, it's the most consistent deck, and I think you guys have said that multiple times.
I agree.
Yeah. It's also the only deck with a alternate win condition where it's gaining life and timing out.
It's one of the few decks with like realistic sustain. I don't know. I think if this adjustment had come out like a month ago, maybe a month and some change, I would have been like, okay, that's fair. Because that's when Darkness Illusion was the more popular alternative. And then people came around to Shadow Blade a little more. I think it's a little heavy-handed, but I don't know. I don't know how much it affects stuff.
It's alright. All right, now this one.
Yeah,
I'm
speaking-
very curious.
Yeah. Okay. So this is actually. Okay, I'm going to read it first. So Dark Destruction is adjusted. Dark Destruction is Wesker's hero art, which is 18 AP to destroy a 5 MP or less enemy unit. Now it's 20 AP. Their justification is, despite being a powerful removal arts card, this is also versatile and consumes little AP, which creates situations where the opponent struggles to keep up. Increasing AP consumption should delay the timing and accordingly the frequency of hero arts use per battle, allowing the opponent more time to attack. Thoughts?
I was just thinking, because I had a match against DD the other day, that if I was just a little bit faster, because I lost because I didn't get my unit to the line all the way, and he destroyed my Zeku. But now that if I was to do the whole thing with these nerfs, I would have had that time now because of just too little, AP.
Why is Ryu not touched, but Wesker is? That's my thing.
Hey,
Ryu has access to art charge, which means that he can get off multiple hero arts than Wesker. So
I think that's
just
fair.
Nerfing Wesker more? That makes no sense to me.
The thing about Wesker is, his hero arts are good. Don't get me wrong. I don't think this was necessary. I don't think Ouroboros was, or not. This is Dark Destruction, not Ouroboros. Excuse me. I don't think Dark Destruction as it was a big problem. It was something you had to think about, and it was something you had to play around. But I don't think it was as oppressive as the notes say that it was. Maybe that's just me. I mean, it's a good deck. It's a good deck, but I don't think it was like, I never queued up into a match against Dark Destruction, even when playing Jill, when all of my units are generally below 5 costs, and go, well, I lose. It's not an insurmountable obstacle to get around. So I don't know.
Right.
It's a difference, but I think that now that some scenarios he'll just out tempo Wesker before he can kind of get going with that. And I don't really agree with the nerf either. I think it was always something in the back of your head, like, okay, he's gonna get DD, he's gonna get DD. Where Uro was like, okay, I gotta prepare for 3 different things sometimes.
And this is an interesting point. Is we talk about why is Ryu not touched. This is only going to make Ryu better.
Yep.
And Ryu's already good. Ryu is good. Is he top 3 decks at the moment? Probably not. I don't think Ryu's broken. I think Ryu's hard to play. Ryu's hard to play well. I'll say that. So chat says, Graveslave says, I didn't think DD was an issue either. Moist Nevada, that is a very interesting name. Is 2 AP a huge difference? It's not huge, but by that same merit, it's like, if it's not that much of a difference, then why did it get the nerf to begin with? You know what I mean?
And why him, but not Ryu? Because Ryu also sees more play.
You think Ryu sees more play than Wesker?
I think so.
I think
Wesker.
Well, yeah, I guess you're talking about DD. I guess I've seen so much Wesker lately that it's like, I don't know.
I don't know. That's tough. But and then Heroic Brawler says huge, no, but it is a difference. I agree. Motion says Ryu is certainly top 3 now. I think that's a given. I think Ryu is definitely going to be top 3. But I don't think that makes him broken. I agree with Graveslave. Because Ryu is not easy to play. He's easy to pick up, but he's difficult to master. Watch me quote one of my own videos. So yeah, it's interesting. Here's the one I'm really curious about.
Oh, here we go.
So this is Ouroboros. So that originally cost 22 AP to summon the highest MP unit in your graveyard and put it on the board. Now it is summon the highest MP unit in your graveyard to the field, grants that unit death, remove this card from the game.
Whoa.
That's big.
Whoa.
I feel like that's big, guys.
That's big. That's huge.
Really
That's huge. That is huge.
Wow.
What did Wesker ask for this?
Somebody must really not like Wesker.
Somebody doesn't like Wesker. Somebody is in Gung Ho's Japan office and sat down
What?
It just slides
What-
a picture of Wesker across the meeting tables. Like, what are we going to do about this man?
So one of the things I'm thinking, like looking at all of this, is that I feel that there are less top player Weskers out there than there are top player Ryus. Would you guys agree with that or no?
I think
there
it's
are more
very
top player
close, but
Ryus.
I don't disagree with you. I think it's very close.
I think it's
That's
very
fair.
close as well.
I can agree with that. Yeah,
I know. Can you, Io? Can you name like?
some really good top player Ryus.
No, not Ryu's. I know Ryu's for sure, but like
Okay.
Weskers besides.
Weskers. I
besides
can't.
Spooky.
I've only seen, yeah, Spooky, of course, top 50, and then we also have, like, I saw one Japanese player. It was either this season or last season make number 1, and it was a Wesker player, but it was very early season. I think it was last season. But
I think I know
as far
who
as
you're talking
Wesker
about. Yeah.
players. Oh, I think Bat was playing Wesker for a while too.
Oh, yeah.
I
Okay.
think Bat was there for a bit, yeah. And I'm sure there's more that I'm not even thinking of. Because it's hard to keep track of people as specific character specialists, you know?
Correct.
Um, so, I don't know,
But
guys. I
As far
don't...
as like Japanese team, I also don't think a lot of them, go to Wesker as well. Especially Dark Destruction Wesker. I think like a few of them do, but not many of them.
I don't know. There for a while, I feel like I was playing a bunch of Japanese Wesker players, but that was like a season ago.
Same.
That was like a season
Well,
ago.
Okay.
I did play a lot of Japanese Weskers myself, but a lot of them weren't the cream of the crop. Maybe it's just kind of a mid player thing. I don't know, because I think it's the easy life, but
I think it's good. I mean, when I did my tier list, like I put it above Ryu. Both of them, actually, Dark Destruction and Ouroboros. I don't know. I feel like this is gonna hurt.
yeah, it is. And
It's really gonna
makes me
hurt.
Makes me question, like, what are we getting in this new pack to compensate? Like, because now are we gonna run like? Will Joe still be that worth if they're gonna like? Would you decrease one Joe?
Right.
I think you would. I think you'd have to. That deck will have to look. It'll have to look different. So, the reason for their change, by the way, because I don't think we said this earlier, does Ouroboros is a hero art that can keep a firm grip on the board and allow for aggressive play, but there is a common strategy in which a single high-cost card is reused several times, and if it's combined with False Throne, easily allows for one specific card to be used repeatedly, which I agree with, it is true. For units that can be revived by Ouroboros, we expect that removing these from the game when they are defeated again will prevent them from being excessively reused through hero arts, allowing the opponent enough time to respond in the state of battle. I don't think their assessment is wrong. I don't know how I feel about this.
After reading that reasoning, I actually agree with it because Wesker Ouroboros, when it was like really hot, that was one of the high roll decks, right? Because they would be able to get so much early advantage. So you could do False Throne, Rebirth, and then eventually somehow get towards like 22 AP, and then once they kill your Joe, you just bring it back out. I also felt like they should have hit Living Death.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that. Yeah,
This does hit Living Death, though. Think about it. If things are getting removed from your graveyard, if you Ouroboros, that's a hit to Living Death.
Oh, yeah, that's a
I
good
agree
point.
with you.
Yeah.
But let me pose a question. What about if you opened with 3 False Thrones and then 1 Living Death, and you got to 11 mana?
Then that's really good.
Yeah,
But
that's
that is
also-
a very specific hand.
Right. I feel like your opponent like lets you have that almost.
If that happens to me, I feel like I deserve to lose. I mean,
What?
I'm not going to be mad about it. I mean, I'm not saying I won't be mad about it because I'm for sure I would be. But like the chances of that happening, it's just, I don't know. You want to talk about
I've seen
like
it happen in ranked before though. That's the thing, is like when you open with that and then your opponent loses just because of that. It's just kind of weird.
Right.
I
Because
don't
you can play Living Death at different times during the game. So I definitely see where you're coming from, and I think that it's still has like a flexible flexibility within the meta, and I'm really curious to see how people will play it. Like they'll probably play it more early game now because they want to bank on just getting their game plan out so fast.
yeah. So Gung Ho is filled with ex players seeing how these nerfs happened. all the X players that I know that have seen these balance changes or are looking at them now because I keep checking my phone, are all like, "Yes, X's time is coming." Like I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
I don't know about that, guys. Slow your roll. Yeah, and then Luke says X for life.
Yo, as X players in the chat, press X if you want.
Yeah,
X to be good.
Yeah, X players in the chat. Let's see with the X's. False Throne gets nerfed too. Yeah, it does. That combos. Yeah, it's I don't know. So I don't know. Let's go to what's next. Dive attack. I'm really curious about this.
Oh,
Okay,
yes,
so okay. Spoiler alert. I looked too far, but I'm gonna read it to you. So dive attack is a Rathalos hero art that like never gets used, and when and you can see it on the screen. It's 25 AP to give 2 attack to all friendly units. So no wonder it doesn't get used. Now it is 19 AP to give 2 attack to all friendly units.
It's okay.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't know if it's great.
I don't know.
Now, okay, here's the question. Here's the question. Well, I feel like I know the answer, but would you run this over Wrath Awoken?
No.
I wouldn't
I
either.
wouldn't even run this over Charge Shot. That's what I can do.
Yeah,
Like-
I wouldn't run this over just because flight is so essential to how that deck functions. Unless everybody starts running Saragios and other flight units. I don't know. Probably not, but
There'll be some fun decks. That's all I'll say.
yeah. The reason was given that I saw a mouse run across my floor. I'm sorry. It's under my
Sure it's
hoodie.
not- You sure it's not the spirit of Mega Man X in your house?
No, it was definitely a mouse.
I can take over if you'd like.
No, you're fine. It
Okay.
ran off. I'll set some more traps out this evening. It's all good. So given that the target all effect of this has a powerful influence on the board, an adjustment has been made so that its true value can be displayed midway through the game. The timing of its use has now been hastened, so that it is geared towards the latter half of the game, which it can be actively used. I think I like the buff. I don't know if it's going to get used that much.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's underwhelming. But the next one though, I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I was really excited when I saw this was on the list. So Quicksilver,
Ooh.
which is the most expensive
Oh.
hero art in the game. Before it was 27 AP to inflict slow and counterbind to all enemy units. Now it is 18 AP to give slow to one enemy unit, and that unit cannot counter. Oh man, I was really hopeful that this was going to be good. I don't think it's good anymore.
Oh. I saw the AP count and I was like, yo, and then I saw the
Yeah, it was like Dante's top tier now.
Well, I had a theory that I did not expect this change, but I had a theory that there would have been timer scams with this hero art if it became more useful. Like you could just slow the game pretty much. So
I don't know. Is it better? I guess it's better, but I don't know if I like it.
it's like a sidestep.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
I was really hoping this was going to be a busted hero art. I was kind of like hoping and praying.
Is this good against Big Rezo? Like, I mean, if Rezo's still relevant, like,
I think it's good against Ryu. Those
I
stupid
love
little.
this change, and I'm going to play it. I really like this.
I
think
respect-
they
I
did a
respect
banging
that.
job. I would definitely run this over Double Trigger, at least to try, and I do see its merits. So
yeah, I definitely see that there's definitely potential now with it, and I think it'll definitely get more use. I'm excited too as someone who plays Dante.
Yeah, it'll totally get used more, and I'm super pumped for that. I was just like, a part of me was like, come on, make it broken.
What if they're gonna introduce more slowing effect cards for purple?
that'd be tight. I'd be
Yeah.
really excited for that.
So their justification
reason?
for it was Dante's hero art, which hinders an opponent's action, was designed to be a powerful ability to seal the entire board, but it just couldn't be used frequently, which is true. Nevertheless, opponents were prepared to counter this ability by the time it was available, so many players passed it over in favor of Dante's other hero arts that are easier to use,
right.
which is true. We cut down the AP so people could use it more. That's fair. All right, Reckless Charge.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Dude!
What?
That's so weird. Okay, so Reckless Charge before was 1 MP to complete attack prep for a friendly unit. They've changed the wording because attack prep just means when the chain resolves, an attack is happening. So now it is 3 MP, and it gives a friendly unit plus 2 HP, and that unit performs an instant attack.
Could you scroll down a little bit more for me?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forget the windows.
Stout, you got me because I only read gives a friendly 2 HP, and I was like, it changed the whole card. Like,
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay now.
I don't know if this will get used anymore. At most, you'll run 1 copy, which most people do now anyway. So,
Right.
Yeah,
I think it kind of removes like the abuse that I kind of would get for, you know, general use, like people playing like 3 of them in a deck. So you can't be cheesy or high roll in the meta. You kind of have to use it, you know, in more skillful situations, I believe. So I do like the change. I agree with it.
Oh, I like the change too. I don't know that. I just don't think it's going to see, a ton of play now.
I agree.
But,
which is great. That's what we want.
Yeah. GC Cowboy says it could be used as a green removal with their high HP units, I guess.
That's a good point.
It could be.
Yeah, I was just thinking that you could like win some trades and like tank a little bit. So I think it'll still have its use, just not as many as Stout mentioned, because you want to like you're trying to use all the buffs like at the beginning. That when you finally get to that, you might be a little short in MP. Maybe it depends on like how you're strategizing. But you definitely have to think more about it, and I think that's what we all want.
Maybe they nerfed Wrath and they buffed X. This is what they did.
I mean,
It's
maybe.
time, dude. Rise of the Green.
Motion says this can be used in charge shot. It can. It's actually really good for charge shot now. So
I like it. Yeah.
there you go, X players. Enjoy.
Yes, they've heard you.
And their explanation for it was everything that we've already known, which was this card just allows you to end matches really, really fast, and it doesn't promote a lot of counterplay, which is what we've always thought. So, Play TEPPEN says, see? Yep, the X buffs, they're coming. They're coming. Okay, so Ibuki, this is the agility Ibuki. So before, it was 6 MP for a 3/4 unit with agility. Resonate gives it +1/+2. Now it is a 3/6 for 6 with agility, and the resonate only gives HP. I like this change.
What do you think, Iowa? As a friend, Dante brethren, how do you feel?
I'm in love.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah, it dodges Ryu, which is nice.
Yep. Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Take this straight.
Bond Cancel says, boo! Nightblader says, nice nerf, just like 2 months late on Ibuki. Hey, Big Rezo's kind of been making a comeback, sort of.
Yeah.
And,
I climbed 117 points one night.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, yo, let's go, Dante.
I mean, I'm not going to play it. I don't like that deck, but... And then...
I cracked top 100 playing Rezo pretty recently. Rezo Dante.
How did you sleep at night?
Very well. I was sleeping with the tears of my opponents. Just gathering.
Oh, man. Keep Dante alive.
Yep.
he needs some.
Sleep like a babby.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that change. So, Uts Semi Technique. This is a weird one. Not a super popular card, but it's 4 MP, and it randomly changes the target of an action card. So before, even if the effect was activated, the effect is activated even if the randomly selected target of the action card does not match the conditions on the action of the card.
Oh, wow.
So now the effect is not activated if the randomly selected target of the action card does not match the conditions on the action card. And their justification was due to its high random factor. We initially could not comprehensively restrict the effect after changing targets, but in consideration of avoiding unforeseen and unwanted effects activating through its combination with other cards, we chose to make the effect activation requirements more restrictive. I can see why.
So they nerfed it.
Yeah, it is a nerf. It is a nerf.
I'm surprised, actually. I was expecting to have a lot of goofy fun. I mean, this will still be a meme. Like, it'll just be meme decks.
So they want you to spend 4 mana for nothing.
Right. It's going to clog your deck for no reason.
Yeah.
So if you trigger this on 4 mana, then you get nothing out of it, and you're just going to feel awful.
It's a waste.
Yeah. It's really funny that Semi-Technique got a nerf. A nerf. It's really funny. All right.
I understand why, only because a lot of competitive games don't like random factors because a lot of people feel it ruins competitiveness, but c'est la vie.
All right, Four Eyes.
Oh man.
So Four Eyes before was a 4 MP 2/1, and then when he was played, if a friendly unit other than itself with an MP cost of 4 is present, it steals a random enemy unit with 4 HP or less. So now it is a 4 cost 2/2, and if a friendly unit other than itself with 4 MP cost is present, it seizes control of a random enemy unit with 3 HP or fewer.
Oh.
I don't feel like that's that big of a nerf.
Nope.
I still think this is a very viable card.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not that big of a nerf at all. The reason I'll read is its HP requirement made it extremely easy to use, and the broad range of its effect enabled it to target low-cost units and revenge units, giving opponents very few options to counter it. We changed the HP requirement so that it would be harder to fulfill its conditions with dealing damage to an opponent just once, giving opponents more of a chance to counter it. In addition, we increased Four Eyes HP to 2 to compensate, so it could take an attack from a 1-attack unit.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I was just thinking, like, now my Legiacris, if I play early game, won't get stolen. Or, like, you know, it's kind of busts for you a little bit. Like, I don't have to worry about some units getting stolen, but now Four Eyes can tank at 1 extra health.
Yeah.
But I think this is fair. I think this is like just like a small, but not really significant.
Yeah, I don't dislike it. I like kind of where their head's at, but I don't know. I don't really feel like it's gonna hurt four cost purple.
You seem like you want to tell us something. Like how would you change?
Tell us.
I mean, you guys pretty much said it all. I agree with you. I just feel very, what is it?
Underwhelmed.
Yeah, underwhelmed by it. Because I was really looking forward to this nerf to see how they would kind of do it, and they kind of missed the mark for me. So that's why I'm looking so pouty, is because I'm just not a fan.
I think they should have. I think it should be not an HP requirement. I think it should be an MP cost requirement. I think that would have been an appropriate way to word that card, but
I would have liked that better than this for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know.
You know,
it is what it is.
Yeah, trial and error.
So, all right. The Nightblade says this kind of does nothing. Basically, everybody in the chat is like, this isn't really that big of a deal, and I agree.
TEPPEN says purple
needs more ways to stay on top.
What are you talking about?
Yes. Can we get more 4 cost cards that are purple?
Drop, please. Thank you.
Yes, give us more 4 drops. Make it so we don't have to use Remy.
Going back, I actually do think they buffed Ibuki. Like, it looks like a nerf, but I think they buffed her.
It's an upfront buff. I think it's fine. 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
I straight up think they buffed Ibuki, and I think that Rezo got stronger by that change. I don't think it's
Rezo.
Love Cheese says, I think Four Eyes is going to be the kind of card that'll either be really good or not worth playing. No in between. I think that's fair. I think it could turn out to be that way.
Yeah. I like it because it synergizes with Beltway, which both those cards, they set your opponent back. So that's just something very good with TEPPEN, because TEPPEN is, a lot of players like to use the terms mana advantage. You know, I hear Pro Cigarette Scrub talk about it all the time, which is, you know, relative to the game, you kind of want to have mana advantage. So that way you're ahead and then your opponent's like behind, and you just keep pressing that on. And I think purple does a really good job of that.
True.
All right, so False Throne. Most everybody knows what this did. 1 MP to send one of the units in your deck with the highest MP cost to the graveyard. The only difference is it costs 2 MP now.
Okay, I like that.
I think that's fair.
I'm glad they didn't like do any more than that, because I think there's a fun factor, and like it fits in the theme of a black deck, whether it be Wesker or Nerg. I think it's fine.
Yeah,
I think it's balanced. I do like it.
That's a good way to put it. It is balanced.
Because so many people complained about like, oh, Wesker could flood board and then also have MP enough to do whatever he wanted, and now you have to spend a little more MP on things. So it's the little things,
Yeah. If anything, it could also be seen as a buff, because the +1 MP also means +1 AP for when you use it. So it goes towards your Ouroboros counter.
Yeah. Just like a sidestep.
Yep.
Yeah, like even if you use this on response, like, normally you would spend 1 MP and then it would just give you 1 AP on response. Well, now that if this card is changed and you respond with it, you spend 2 and then you add 2 to AP, which is really good.
Yeah, if it was 3, then that would be a different story.
Right, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's balanced, but it also gives it more of an edge as well. Well, what's the reason for the change?
The reason, this is often used as a support card in an Ouroboros deck to utilize units in the graveyard. However, its low MP cost meant that it was easy to use and wouldn't cost too much of a player's MP advantage. Players were either able to follow up with other strategies which would corner opponents and leave them with no available options. We increase the MP cost to give people more breathing room, which I think it's totally fair.
That's totally fair.
So
Yeah.
I absolutely agree.
the last adjustment is Legend Eater Nergigante, which I don't think I've ever had played against me, ever.
I've seen it once.
I've never seen it. I'm with Stout on this one.
So before it was 7 MP for a 0 attack, 1 HP unit. When played, removes 10 cards from your deck and gains +5/+10. So now it is 6 MP for the 0 attack, 1 HP. It has Veil, and when it's played, it removes 10 cards from your deck and gains +4/+10. I think that's a solid buff.
Yeah.
I don't know
That's
how
pretty
much
noticeable
it's going to
a
get
bit.
played, but that's a buff. I don't know. So
Can you
it's a
scroll
buff.
down just a little bit?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Here.
No,
I
you're
forget.
all
I forget.
It's all good.
I forget that you're watching through that and not scrolling along with me. GC Cowboy says still not playable. I think that's fair.
Yeah. I agree with the fact that Veil is a little bit flawed in the fact that does it, random destroy still go through it. So
Yep. So
This
yeah.
means you have to play it in mono black because it's 6 MP still.
Mhm.
So you can't really pair the Veil with unblockable or flight.
I feel like this is so situational. Like you
Yep.
really just have to. You'll craft a deck for it, and you won't really ever see it in probably rank.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see it now. I don't think you're going to see it much more often.
The
So-
only time I ever saw it was somebody played it at the beginning of a game, and it did. I was not afraid of it.
Right.
Okay, so let's do this. We've gone through. Do we want to go through Nergigante really quick, or would you guys like to make a tier list prediction based just on these balance changes, not necessarily on what's coming from the new set?
Should we also do Nero first too? We didn't finish Nero,
Do you want to do Nero first? We can.
and then we can make a tier.
Yeah.
I'm
All
down
right.
for whatever.
All right. Let's do Nero first.
We can do a tier last. I feel.
Okay. So we were talking about True Power.
Oh yeah! Watch this!
Which it looks super cool.
These
Uh,
animations are so dope.
Yeah, they are. Okay. So Nero, for true power, that's just 12 AP, which is cheap. That is tied with Metsusho Ryuken for the cheapest hero art in the game. And it increases the level of a friendly unit with growth by 1. So in order to explain this, we have to talk about growth. So I'm going to scroll a little bit further down. So growth is the way it's explained. It says acquiring a certain amount of growth points will increase level and grant new effects on units. Growth points are a new parameter that will appear in the Devil's Awaken. So when a unit card with the growth ability is in play, playing another unit in an open spot will grant growth points equal to the MP cost of that card. So the example they give is a growth that at level 2 gains combo, and then at level 3 gains a +3/+4, and the growth actual cost is 3. So like if you play this unit and then you played another 3-cost card, it would go up to level 2, and then another 3-cost card would get it up to level 3.
I like this a lot, actually.
There's a lot of potential here.
Yeah, this is
There's
awesome.
so much potential.
And it works like so well with green too, because you're always trying to get like a whole bunch of units on board, and they'll just incentivize. Like the synergy is just so there. I feel.
Oh, there's a video. There's a video for growth. Yeah, so he plays a unit and it shows a little level up, and each unit actually has a little bar for growth to the left of them.
Cool.
So okay, so it doesn't have to be the specific cost. It's just whatever the cost is going to get added to it, and they've got a little experience bar.
Question on that: will Explore now have that little like marker? Because it's a nice little quality of life change, but I don't know if they'll do it or not.
I don't know. I think this is really cool, and I think there is a lot of potential in this.
Definitely.
So going back to True Power, basically you get a growth level up by 1 for a unit for 12 AP. That seems, not knowing all the cards, that seems really good.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty solid. The potential is just so there, especially if you have the options to like if I want to play more units or not, or I can just it's very flexible. I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we're going on the growth mechanic, there is one thing I disagree with, and it's the from the way it reads, it's saying that for every growth ability, so for different cards, it's saying that each different card will have its own requirements for how many MP that you need to play to get the level up. So I'll give you guys an example. So you can have this one card that only requires 3 MP to level up, and then you'll have this separate card that only takes 4 MP to level up. For me, I don't know why they did it that way, because I'm thinking that's just a little bit an extra step to do the same thing, and I feel that it adds kind of like unnecessary math.
I see what you mean, because like that means there's definitely going to be some strategies that just won't see the light of day. Probably.
For me, it just doesn't make sense mathematically or logic sense. Like it's not convenient. They added an extra step, I feel.
Especially for like new players too. A lot of new people coming to the game probably don't want to do that much math and keep track of that.
Yeah, because you now have to remember, separately which growth unit levels up by how much MP kind of thing, and you gotta have to like pay attention to that. I mean, I love the mechanic; it's dope, but I just don't know why they have that, there. But who knows? I could be wrong. I could be, thinking a little bit too deep, and maybe that they have a reason for it.
Nightblader says, and I agree with this. Nightblader says this seems like the genesis of this hero, where it looks good on paper, but it's not that good. Because I remember when Jill came out, I was like, Genesis is going to be ridiculous in Resonate decks, and then it wasn't, because it just doesn't work. So I think that's fair. I'm going to be optimistic about it because I like the mechanic. And I really want an excuse to play Nero because I like Nero's character, but
I think Nero's really good, actually.
Yeah.
So
from impressions so far, I would say that Nero is going to be one of those hard to play characters. Sure.
Yep. So the third hero art is Hey Nico.
You're up, Nico. What's your problem? You trying to kill me?
Yo.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's awesome.
so
I'm gonna play it again, but
You're
that's
up,
awesome.
Nico. What's your problem? You trying to kill me?
Yeah, that's
So have you
sick.
guys all played DMC5?
Hopefully you have.
You've played it?
He hasn't beaten it yet.
Yeah, I just got it recently.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you're pretty
honest.
familiar with this zone.
Yeah. A
So
little bit.
So Hey Nico is 17 AP, and it randomly gives you either, and I'm going to butcher this first, is it Gerbera, Ragtime, or Tomboy to your EX pocket. And here are those 3 cards. So this is random. It's random the one that you're going to get. It goes to your EX pocket, kind of like Jill's rocket launcher. So Gerbera deals 12 damage split among all enemy units for 1 MP.
Oh.
So there's
I like
that.
it a lot.
I like it. The thing is, I mean, certain decks won't sweat it so bad. I do think it's good, and I think the potential there is really, really strong.
It's definitely better than rocket launcher.
Stout, you remember that one podcast we were talking about Nero and what we kind of like wanted from Nero? Like, well, what do we think would
I
kinda,
do.
like, bring in there?
Oh,
And
yeah.
One of my things was I wanted Nero to have a way to deal with enemy units, and this is perfect.
Yeah, it is. Problem is, it's random. You may not get this, but so the other ones, Ragtime is 2 MP, and it inflicts halt on all enemy units for 13 seconds. It's an AoE Dark Hold. That's pretty. I mean, it's pretty good. These
No,
are all
I think-
real. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I think it's these Devil Breaker things are really interesting because I think, Stout, you mentioned a long time ago how you wanted to see some Devil Breakers, and one of them could have been, a slow time, or now we got Halt, and thus it's here, so it's really interesting.
And then the last one is Tomboy, which I love the way this art right here is really cool. It randomly increases 3 MP, randomly increases the attack and HP of a friendly unit by a total of 10 points. These are all really good oh shit buttons.
Oh yeah.
They are. There are
is a
3
great-
variations.
That's a good way to put it.
There are three variations of an oh shit button. Like, and they're all really good. Like, they're all really good. It's just the RNG is the only thing that makes me hesitant. But I think it's good.
Most definitely. I totally 100% agree with that.
Instead of calling it Hey Nico, just call it Oh Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
I
think
kind of
these
want to touch on the third card because the third card is worded a little bit weird.
Tomboy?
So I kind of wanted to
yeah. Go ahead.
make it.
I'm actually gonna step away and get a drink really quick. That's cool with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. So the thing about this card is it says randomly increases the attack and HP of a friendly unit by a total of 10 points. So the way I'm reading that is it'll randomly increase the attack and the health, but only by, I'm actually reading it word for word, a total of 10 points. So that means that it kind of works like Split,
Right.
where the numbers can change. So you can have like +6 attack and then +4 health, or +4 health. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
+6 attack. So it can work vice versa and just range from anywhere. Like you could even have +10 attack and +0 health.
Or you could have an even split, 5-5.
Oh yeah, that'd be tight. I would really enjoy that. And what I like about this, would you play with combo units for Shaw?
Yeah, like a red-green deck.
Yeah, but then again, I guess it's only 33% chance of you hitting it with hero art.
Yeah, you're
But I
definitely
do like the
banking
card.
on it for sure. I think
Mhm.
that this third hero art is something. I even if it's random, all 3 of them have uses. And how much AP was it again?
I don't remember. I think he said 17.
That's pretty cheap to get 3 decent, cards. So
Yeah, 17. Play TEPPEN says play that and then Utsusemi.
Oh my
They're all
god.
Random. We're just rolling dice now.
That would
Play-
be. That's a
Play
Maximilian dude clip waiting to happen. You play yeah, that's
21.
Says, get halt card and drop Ada. Get the halt card.
Play Ada and drop Halt. You said.
No. Get the halt card and then drop Ada.
yeah, that would be
Lefchi says.
and just ooh. Darkness illusion is a problem. Is it? What about this? Pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm in love with this third hero art though. I think it just really represents the character well, and I think it just gets to be so fun, you know.
I think in battle it'll be very useful. Like I would definitely rock this.
Same. I think Iowa mentioned earlier, Stout, about this pairing with combo, especially the third card. What are your thoughts on that? Like maybe a red green.
For specifically for Tomboy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it could. The problem is, how do you build a deck to synergize with just one of these? You know, I think I think it's really good. Just like I think Gerbera is good, and I think Ragtime is good. I think it's going to be difficult to pigeonhole what kind of deck is going to use this hero art, but I do think that it, on the whole, it's very strong.
I think people were gonna build decks like very differently for this character, especially the third hero art, and they might build deck for just the first card. They might build deck for the second card or the third card only, and then there'll be people that build for all three. And I think it'll be offer like different like flavors in the meta. And I think I don't know. I'm really interested to see what happens.
Yeah. I'm excited for Nero more than I was now,
Right.
because you always like because with Jill, when she was announced, I was like, she's okay. And I've come around because Mallet Moogle's in the chat. He's heard me say this before. I think Jill's very underrated. But I think Nero's got a lot of potential to be really good.
Oh yeah. I think they did a great job with Nero. I like all of it.
Yes, it screams personality. His kit.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah. I think all these will see the light of day, to be honest, especially at the beginning. I'm wondering how do you guys feel about the staying power of all three of these arts? I think we mentioned that the first one is definitely the weakest.
I agree. I don't like the first one as much, but I think the other two have potential. I think the second one is probably the hardest one to use.
Yeah.
I like all three of them. I feel like they can all make their own archetype. Just kind of like how Wesker can do DD and Ouroboros. I feel that all three of these can split into their own three archetypes.
What's gonna be
That's just me, you know.
What's gonna be kind of fun is that in tournament play when you're banning decks and whatnot, and if you ran Hero Art 3 on Nero, you technically kind of have like three many different arts, and it's gonna leave your opponent on edge in a way because they don't know. Or does it like show? Does it also show your opponent what card you get, or this is gonna show you when it pops in your hand?
It probably won't show it. Well, I don't know, because with Rocket Launcher it doesn't show you, but that's just because you only get one thing. It's Rocket Launcher.
Right.
Genesis does not show your opponent what explore cards you get. So.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it'll show.
I don't think it will.
So now your opponent is left guessing. Okay, what do you have, and do I have to get ready for it? So you
Yeah,
can play like the mental mind game.
That's a really good point. I like that. You know, that comment, because that was something that I didn't think of, and I love that as a competitive player. I will definitely be really looking forward to playing with that mind game. You know.
Yeah, you could basically I think sometimes not showing what you have in your hand will make them panic, and they'll have to force. Oh, I have to play something, or I have to be ready, and then you never do it, and they tunnel vision. So I don't know. It's gonna be fun. I'll have fun with it.
Yep, I agree. So on the whole chat, I'll ask, and then we'll talk about something else that's on this page. On the whole chat, what are your thoughts on Nero? Let us know. What's your favorite hero art from Nero? One other thing you wanted to talk about that we skipped over because we were talking about growth is anti-air, which is an effect that blocks attacks from units with flight. Being pretty straightforward. I think it's going to depend on what kind of units it's on, but I'm cool with it being in effect.
Yeah,
I'm also cool with it being in effect. Yeah.
that makes total sense.
It's pretty traditional in the sense, right? Because you can
Why
find that
won't
same
you
ability
play?
in like Magic the Gathering has reach.
Yeah.
Hey, play TEPPEN. Do you have this trailer?
Hey, Luke, can you turn on this trailer so I can click on
Yeah,
it?
Do you have the new card, boy?
You just turn this on. Can you go into the Play TEPPEN computer room and flip the switch? Thanks. Luke says I haven't seen it yet, so
Oh,
I'm excited to see what it is. Overall, I think all this info we got tonight is great. I think this is an awesome info dump. I love it.